trust in students. I know that there might be a lot of students going to appear for second board examination for the subject SST, that is on 21st of May. So if you are someone waiting for a video that can give you a perfect revision with all the important questions discussed for SST, then you landed on a perfect video. This is the platform Deeksha Vedantu and I am your SST faculty. See bacha, during the time we had our main exams also, this last revision, particularly short questions, helped a lot of students. But if you are feeling that you want to improve your marks or you somehow unfortunately got compartment in your exam, then we need to work on it. Okay, so we need to figure out what are the important topics particularly that can help us score better in our exam, and this is what is the target for today's video. One big surprise for all the student is out there that if you want this PDF also, then you can download it via the link given in the description box. So you will download it only when you find it worthy, right? So to find it worthy, let's go back to the video, go back to the topics actually which are important for your exam perspective, right? So the very first chapter, see, when I talk about history, geography, civics and economics, I usually suggest students to start with economics so that we can have light studies first. But as 2 days are left for your exams, we can't do right now this, and we cannot go with this strategy anymore. So we will start today with history. Okay, because the highest weightage chapter in history is rise of nationalism in Europe. You guys are aware about that, right? In this, the most repeated topic is how the people of France got what? The feeling of nationalism. So now we are not going into basics a lot because you guys have done it already. The very important and the most repeated question from this chapter is the question number first, that how did the people of France got the feeling of what? Nationalism. So we know that with the help of songs, with the help of flags, etc. So yeah, the points that you need to write in your exams. The first one is idea of la patrie and les citoyens. Do you know what's la patrie? The fatherland. Les citoyens, citizens. We the citizens living in this fatherland, like we have a feeling for motherland India, right? Similarly, they had the feeling of nationalism for their fatherland, that was France. Okay, a new tricolor flag was introduced that replaced the royal standard flag, that flag of monarchy. So that gave a connectivity among the people. Then we have a state general, that was a body, basically a representative body. Now what people want, that there should be a body which is elected by the people. So it was replaced and renamed as National Assembly, and it was an elected body. Okay, new hymns were composed, oath taken, martyrs were commemorated. We know that whenever we hear Bharat Mata, there is goosebumps and there is a feeling of nationalism among ourselves too. Similarly, when these hymns were composed, oath was taken, that feeling French people were taking by these hymns and oaths. Okay, a centralized administrative system. Now the power will not be divided in many people, rather there will be a centralized system. When there is a centralized system, we have a feeling of unity. So internal custom duties were abolished to make sure that there is a uniform system throughout the country. Regional dialect were discouraged, only French was promoted. Again, with the help of language, they wanted to make people connected with each other. So this is the important question. Okay, we will be in speed today. Do not think that we'll go slow. This is the last revision that is going to help you in what? Second board exam. First question done. Pause the video, learn it, try to write it in your copy or pen or page, whatever you are taking along with you. And if not, do take it, because whenever you write now, then only your retention rate for questions become more, not for reels. Okay. Now coming to the second most important topic, that is about Napoleon, and I am aware that this question comes many times. Now what were the policies or administrative policies that were administrative system that was introduced by Napoleon? By this person, Napoleon was not at all a democrat, right? If you think that he came to in power to bring democracy, no. Yeah, he came to destroy the already existing monarchical system but not to bring democracy, but to bring dictatorship. But however, he was like good in some aspects, like he brought what? If I talk about social equality, yes, he introduced economic equality, he tried to introduce, not at all political equality, however. So the first thing what Napoleon did was to did away the privileges on the basis of birth. Bhai, what happened in Europe? We studied in class 9, there were rich people, there were poor people, clergy, the people associated with church, there were nobles, and the rest of the people was third class people. So the privileges were enjoyed by those nobles and clergies. Now Napoleon came by, nobody is going to enjoy this privileges on the basis of birth. Everyone will be equal before the law, and right to property will be given to them. This code was like, see, Napoleon came, he was not a sophisticated ruler. He wanted his rule or empire to be like expanded throughout Europe. So when he came, what will happen? He made a code. Definitely this code will be exported to region under his control. Okay, so those regions were Dutch Republic, Switzerland, Italy, Germany. However, now as the empire was growing, he needed to simplify the administrative system, and he did that. Right? In this simplification, he did one very important thing. He ended the feudal system. Feudal system means the right to property only to the upper class people. So he ended this feudal system because those who were not having that land, they were working as served, slaves on the lands of the feudal lords. So he ended this feudal system, freed the peasant from serfdom and manorial dues, also removed the guild restrictions. Now what is this guild restrictions, bacha? So now trade was going on in the country, right? Trade was going on, there were certain guilds here means group. There were certain groups and they were trading with some items. They were not allowing anyone else outside their community to do that trade. So because of that restrictions, there was no equality among other people. They were not getting chance to do this economy. So here he removed this so that economically the people can found a new economy, new found freedom for that. Get it? So two important questions from the first chapter. That is about, first was about what? First was about, oh my god, my mind is not processing. So first was about French people having the feeling of nationalism. The second is about Napoleon. By third and important question, this came this year. This year in the question paper, you will go back and see unification of Germany. Beta 2026 exam paper, the main paper is the blueprint, what you are going to get on 21st of May. So if you are missing that paper, if you are thinking that no need to do that paper because CBSE is not going to repeat the questions, then you are totally wrong. The first and the most important thing that you need to do right now is to solve that question. Because see, this is SST as a subject, or which I say science, maths, even science and maths, they will repeat the question, or somewhere surrounding that topic will come in the exam. So don't think that. Let's proceed with the unification of Germany. We know that the German peoples were trying to become united for a long time. Every time they start a liberal initiative, what happened? They are suppressed by monarchy, military and large landowners. Now MCQ question, what are these large landowners known as? Junkers. Okay. So now in this German region, now what I am saying German region means the people who speak the language German. In this entire region, one empire was big, and what was that? Prussia. This Prussia took the leadership of the movement that I am going to unify Germany. It's my responsibility. Like sometimes you take the responsibility of your siblings, na, that whenever we go out, I'll take care of that person. Similarly, Prussia took the leadership for the movement for national unification, and the chief minister here in this Prussia was Otto von Bismarck, who can be called as the mastermind of this process, or for a political term, he was the architect of this process. Okay, now this architect choose one and only simple thing, that by war can only make us unified. So he There was war, 3 wars over 7 years with Austria, Denmark and France. Finally, who won the war? Prussia. And it was January 1871 when all of them gathered and United Germany was formed. Who became the first king of United Germany? It was Prussian King Wilhelm. Wilhelm IV actually it is. So, got it? Now, very good. This was the important topic. Next is about unification of Italy. Bacha, in unification of Italy, we have 3 people. Mazzini. Mazzini is basically the visionary, right? Do you know that? There is someone who see the vision. Like there might be your parents who is seeing the vision that you become engineer or doctor or scientist or someone like that, right? But who is the implementer? You are the implementer. They saw the vision. Now you are going to implement it. Similarly, Mazzini saw this vision to form Italy as a united country. Who implemented it? So basically it was Cavour. Cavour was the chief minister, mastermind again we can call him. He was neither a revolutionary nor a democrat. But what happens if you look at this map of Italy, na? Bacha, Italy was particularly divided into 7 estates. How many estates? 7 estates. If I talk about this region, Sardinia, Piedmont, it was under the Italian princely house. Okay, Victor Emmanuel II. This region, this went under Austrian forces. Okay, Austria took the control over this and it consists of 2 territories, Lombardy and Venetia. This center one, the center part was under Pope, right? Pope backed by France particularly. The South Sicily. If I talk about the South Sicily, it was under Spanish ruler, and in Spain also there was a Bourbon dynasty, not that France one, another Bourbon dynasty, which is known as Bourbon dynasty of Spain. So the first thing was the tactful alliance that was made by Cavour, and because of this, Austrian forces were defeated. The next thing was done by Garibaldi. Right, Giuseppe Garibaldi, he marched his army towards South Sicily and drove away the Spanish rulers. So again, this territory was added. When this territory was added, in 1861, Italy was declared as United Italy. Getting? And who was the first ruler of this? Victor Emmanuel II. Do not get confused in Germany and Italy. They are 2 different countries. Okay. Achha, in this chapter particularly, I would suggest you to pick up 2 more topics, that is a strange case of Britain and Balkan crisis. Okay, that 2 are very important. Right now, this year 2026, as unification of Germany and Italy came, they can be repeated, but there are high chances Balkan can come. Okay, so Balkan crisis, I will explain you in this video also, that can be an important one. But before that, let me tell you that early satyagrahas of Gandhiji, chapter number 2 we moved to. Chapter number 2, that is nationalism in India. See, the chapter starts with how among the people of India the feeling of nationalism rose, etc., etc. Before this period of 1915 in nationalism, we studied everything in previous classes. Okay, here the chapter starts with the entry of Gandhiji in India. Where was he? So he was in South Africa. January 1915, first time he came back to India, and then he was advised to take rest and analyze the situation of India for 1 year. After when he came to India, the 3 early satyagraha where he participated are as here. Champaran in Bihar, what was the issue? Oppressive plantation system, that indigo one. Okay, then Kheda, Gujarat, crop failure, plague epidemic, people revolted and took the support of Gandhiji by satyagraha. Then in Ahmedabad, the issue was cotton mill workers, they wanted increase in their revenue. Okay, get it? So now what is satyagraha? You need to understand satya par agrah. That means everything we are doing for freedom shall depends upon truth and non-violent means. Okay, no violence is required to get freedom. This was the ideology of satyagraha, started and popularized by Mahatma Gandhi. Okay, now comes the next act. This act was passed by whom? Britishers, obviously. So Rowlatt Act, one of the black act in the history of India, hurriedly passed by Imperial Legislative Assembly. What happened? Now see, If we go back and look at the history now, there was a period of time when nothing was going in India. No such satyagrah, revolution, nothing. What happened? Congress was made, Indian National Congress. Then there were internal differences among them. Congress was divided, and now what is happening? No movement, no organization is being done. Now what happened? Then revolutionaries will be born. Yes, so many revolutionary activities were going on, and here comes the twist where Britishers decided to suppress those activities by this act. They said that anyone, pay attention to that, anyone we can arrest to suppress these political activities, allow them detention for 2 years without any trial. By if you are found doing these activities, you will be detained for 2 years without trial. This was the provision of this act. Do you think that people will enjoy it? No. Gandhiji was here in India. He found an opportunity to start satyagraha against this Rowlatt Act. Nationwide satyagraha was planned, but what happened? Rallies were organized, workers went on strikes, communication lines were disrupted. But what happened? Britishers reacted very badly. What they did? They picked up the local leaders from Amritsar, because in the Punjab region, the violence was increasing day by day. Mahatma Gandhi was barred from entering Delhi. Here, let me tell you, when I'm talking about local leaders from Amritsar, here comes one more event, that's Jallianwala Bagh. Because 2 local leaders were arrested, Dr. Satyapal and Saifuddin Khichlu from Punjab region. Now people were agitated for sure. So violence was increasing. When violence was increasing, bacha, what happened? The police decided that there will be what? There will be army rule there, right? Now martial law was imposed there. People were not allowed to move out. But a lot of people were not aware about that. They gathered on the day of Vaisakhi, where Jallianwala Bagh. And what happened? General Dyer got to know about that. He entered the only entrance and opened fire on unarmed people. And we know that that is a black event in the history of India. Okay? Short note can come from this topic, that write a short note on Jallianwala Bagh massacre or a newspaper report. If question comes in a way, newspaper report, do not get scared. It's just the short note only. Okay, get it? Okay, next important is non-cooperation movement. This is exactly the main topic in this complete chapter. What we have to study here is, see, it was unfolded into stages. Then you can talk about stages. There are 2 important sessions. One was in Nagpur, where compromise was done. Right? Pay attention that Indian National Congress session in December, in the month of December in 1920, where compromise was done and non-cooperation was adopted. In the same year, we had one more session that was in the month of September in Bengal, where it was introduced. NCM was introduced. Okay? So when it was adopted in the month of December. Don't get confused, beta. Then the main important question which comes from this topic, that what were the different strands within the movement? Do you know what is strands? Basically, who were the participants in this movement? So the participants from different region had different approach, because the demand that was put up in non-cooperation movement, which was Swaraj, and the problem was no one knew what actually Swaraj is. For every Indian at that time, the word Swaraj was different, because the movement was not that, the communication was lacking during that time a lot. People were not aware what is going in the country. It was like non-cooperation started. Why? For Swaraj. Now see, Swaraj for the people living in town was what? Using of indigenous items, like we will boycott the foreign goods, foreign liquor, foreign government institutions like British law body, or what we can say schools. So for people in the town, it was boycott. For people in the countryside, it was that by reduce our revenue. Sorry, reduce our taxes, not revenue. Revenue is Britishers. So reduce the taxes. Right? The chowkidari tax, etc. were applied on the people who were farming. So that is in the countryside. If particularly I talk, what you have to write in this is Awadh Peasant Satyagrah. Okay, there is role of Jawaharlal Nehru. And then Swaraj in the plantation, by plantation like tea gardens, coffee gardens, this is plantation, right? So here what was Swaraj? Because an act was passed by Britishers in 1856 that whoever is doing plantation in the gardens have no right to leave that gardens without their permission. Now what happened? So now what happened? They demanded that, by give us freedom, let us go back to our homes. So what was Swaraj for them? Freedom in there. So they wanted to replace Swaraj or Gandhian Raj against the British Raj. Get it? How non-cooperation was different from one person to another? Very good. How it ended? Why was it withdrawn? Very important question. A lot of time it comes for 2 marks. Because of this Chauri Chaura incident, we know violence happened. 22 policemen were killed and Gandhiji withdraw the movement. Second important movement in this chapter is civil disobedience. Which movement, beta? Civil disobedience. So CDM. We know that CDM. So now Lahore session was there. In Lahore session 1929, it was decided that we want Purna Swaraj. That means complete independence. And in light of this, movement was started with Salt March. What happened? 11 demands were presented by Gandhiji to Lord Irwin, who was there in the country at that time, that listen, these are my demands. If you fulfill them, I am not going to start the movement. But if you don't, then I am going to start the movement. Gandhiji was thinking at that time that if I scare these people, they will get affected. Actually, it was the situation, because it was like that one person sitting on Satyagraha, Bhukh Hartal, all the Indians were behind him and Britishers were like crazy. How can people follow this single person so blindly? But actually this was the situation at that time. However, let's move further. So till 11th March time was given to Irwin. He didn't accepted it. Salt March was done. Why do we call it Salt March? Because here the topic's name is civil disobedience. That means we will break the law now. So Gandhiji started this march from Sabarmati Ashram to Dandi. Dandi is a place in Gujarat, coastal town. This was 240 miles, 24 days, 10 miles a day. He reached Dandi and broke the salt law. So what were the steps taken are here? Government response, obviously violent. The participants in this movement, important question, rich peasant, poor peasant, women, merchants and workers. Okay, read those very carefully, bacha, and answer them in exam very nicely. Take these as headings so that if question comes for 5 marks, and you get scared after seeing this question a lot of time. So when it comes for 5 marks, you need to write these headings and the brief description about them in detail. Get it? Second chapter done. Feeling happy? Now moving to the next chapter of history. Now 2 chapters are easy, and that is Silk Route. By 2 marks, right? Trust me when I say that you are going to see this question in your exam for sure. I'm pretty sure when I say that. Even if you pick the question paper of 26, you will see this question as your first 2-marker question. So what is Silk Route? By it is a route which can be a good example of so many land routes as well as ocean routes. So it is a vibrant, pre-modern trade and cultural link between distant part of the world. Okay, basically why it is known as Silk Route? Because it started as from China, that silk was imported in Europe via these land routes and sea routes. Okay, then what happened? So many routes were now joined, like not only silk is now transported, we got a route, we will utilize it as much as possible. Chinese potteries and all that cargoes were taking lot of products. So historians identify the Silk Route over land and by sea, knitting together vast regions of Asia. Pay attention, Asia because China, Europe with Northern Africa. Part of Northern Africa also touches in this way. So pottery, textile from Asia, spices from India was also sent via this route, and in return what do we get? Precious metals. However, those precious metals were also ours only. Okay, coming to the next chapter. Yes, this is an important question from which chapter, bacha? This was from Making of the Global World. Here 1.1, 1.2, 1.3 is going to come from that chapter. Why don't we secure it very early? It's just 15 minutes required to learn that chapter. Play smartly this time. Okay. Print came to in Europe. Bhai, this is important question. So, who started, वैसे, if I ask you a question, who was the first country who started print technology? So we know that it was what? China. So now print reached China via Silk Route. Not China, beta, Europe. Because China was the country that started it. Okay, so print reached Europe via the Silk Route. Now if I tell you, beta, China was the first country who started this print technology, and that was block printing, wood block. They took a piece of block, carved the letters over it, applied ink on it, took the paper, like previous to paper it was skin, animal skin and palm leaves, etc. Paste on it, get it, and the imprint was done. So that is known as wood block printing. Now China for centuries, like I would say for years, kept that technology with them. They didn't share it with anyone. But here comes a twist, a person, smart person from Italy, Italian explorer he was, that was Marco Polo. So in 1925, Marco Polo, after like he was living in China for 12 years exploring over there, saw this technology and thought, let me take it to Europe. Okay, so he took it to Europe. And later in Europe, this wood block printing is not now handmade, it's mechanized. Because Europe is what? Smart. They don't want to do hard work, they want to do smart work. So they are not doing it hand printing now, they are doing mechanized printing. If I talk about before printing, what was done, beta? So before printing, manuscripts were used. What's manuscripts? Anything that's written from hand. It was not successful and it able to replace printing. Why? Because copying was inexpensive, laborious tha, then time consuming it was, manuscripts were fragile, awkward to handle. 3-mark question comes, what were the limitation of manuscripts? From this chapter, and this is who? This is Johann Gutenberg, right? He is Johann Gutenberg, the person who developed printing press. Okay, the person who developed printing press, because whom the books came in market. So it was in 40-48, the first book he printed was Bible. 3 years he printed 180 books. Okay, get it? So this was important from which chapter, beta? This was important from print culture. Now coming to civics, right? Moving to civics, I'm just picking up the most important topics right now for you. So if I come to civics, this is one of the important 5-marker question for you. Important what? 5-marker question for you. That what are the different forms of power sharing? Okay, write it in a way that nobody is gonna deduct any mark from your answer. So there are 4 forms of power sharing in modern democracies. Where? In modern democracies. In modern democracies. So the first one is among different organs of government. Right? First one is among different organs of government. Second one is among different governments, like among different levels of government. Then we have among different social groups, among different political parties. If you want me to make it more understandable, beta, organs, like in our body we have organs, power is divided. Similarly, the powers were divided between legislature, right? Executive, like legislature makes the law, executive executes the law, and judiciary, however, upholds the law. This division of power sharing, it's not visible there, I know. So this division of power sharing is known as horizontal sharing of power. What this is known as? Horizontal sharing of power. Similarly, we have different government at different level, like union government at center level, state government at state level, and panchayats and municipalities at local level. So vertical division of power sharing among different social groups. Yes, bacha, like India, being talking about India, big country with so many social groups, how power are divided. Like if I see scheduled caste and scheduled tribe, the reservation, why it is given? To uphold them equal to the society. What it is? Power sharing. Okay, or the best example is community government, right? The best example is bacha what? The community government. Community government in which country? Belgium. Okay, very good. Next, last among different political parties, by the coalition we saw recently in Tamil Nadu is the example of what? Power sharing among different political parties. This is important one. What makes India a federal country? What makes India federal country? First of all, what is federalism? What is federalism? Sharing of power, right? It is sharing of power among different levels of government, So how India is a federal country? How we have shared the power? By providing different matters to different government. By this matter you deal, this matter I will deal. So we have three lists. What I can call it as legislative and administrative division. These are the keywords, and this is what keyword means, which you guys miss in exam. So the keywords are legislative and administrative divisions. The first one is union list. So union list. What are the subjects important for the nation? Okay, like defense, foreign affair, banking, communication. Beta, these subjects come in exams in MCQs, that which list they lie in. Don't forget. Okay, then we have union government who can alone make the law on these subjects. The union government alone make the law. So it is mentioned in union list. Then we had state list, the subjects that are of local, like I won't call local, regional importance or state importance, like MP police, Karnataka police. We don't call it Indian police, but we call Indian army, because defense is the matter of union list. Police is the matter of state list. Similarly, agriculture, commerce, irrigation, these are the matters in the state list. Who makes the law? State government. Then we have concurrent lists. So there were topics in which the decision making of both the governments was required, like union also and state also. Hence we made a list, that's concurrent list. Subjects of common interest are there, such as education, forest, trade, marriages, adoption, succession. So who makes the law in that? Both union as well as state government makes the law. Okay, and now we know that there might be more items which were adding in the list, and we made the constitution. Where to add those? Add those in residuary subjects, in which who has the power to legislate? Union. This is how our union is more powerful. Get it, beta? So this is important. By decentralization, favorite topic of CBSE. What is decentralization? Divide the power among government. How we did it? So how we did it, bacha? By introducing what? Third tier of government. Third tier of government, that is panchayats and municipalities. So why it is introduced? What is decentralization? Benefits of local government. What are the steps taken? Among this, the most important is what were the steps taken in 1992. So what was the steps taken? So now local bodies were there, panchayat and municipalities, but no regular elections were there. So this body is made a constitutional body, and here will be regular elections. In how many years? 5 years. I don't know why I get this sarcastic smile when elections come in mind. Okay. Then seats were reserved for SC, ST and OBC over here. 1/3 seats were reserved for women, which helped a lot in getting their political involvement. Independent state election commission will be formed to hold the elections over here. Independent what? State Election Commission. Power and revenue will be distributed. So this is here it is the list of bacha scheduled languages. So see this. There are 22 scheduled languages. 21 plus Hindi. Okay, 22. Get it? Okay. Gender, religion and caste chapter, very, very important, in which what you have to study is ways in which women feel disadvantaged or discriminated. So we have 5 ways, like literacy rate is quite low, 54% for women, 76% for men. Low paid work, we are aware. Sex ratio, very low, 919. Even in some areas, they are even less than 850. So political representation, very, very low, 14.36% in parliament, less than 5% in the state legislative assemblies. Domestic violence. So 5 points, how many marks? 5 marks, get it? See, these are all important topics, beta. These are all important topics. If you get this PDF, right, you do them very nicely, I am pretty sure, beta, you will be able to get good marks. So if you are someone worried about your second board exams, do not worry, beta. Do not worry, because here is a chance to upgrade our marks, and see, sometimes comeback is needed, and because of that comeback only you are giving this exam, right? You might got less marks what you expected. Why? Because you lagged in your strategy. So don't repeat it again. Okay, next important topic is religion, communalism and politics. So we know, if I talk about communalism, it is a feeling where we feel that by my community is good, right? There is no what we can say, there is nothing lacking in my community, the other one is inferior, I am superior. So it takes face in communal politics, like it enters our day-to-day behavior, our day-to-day stereotypes, prejudice, thinking over one religion impacts a lot in what? In politics. So how communalism takes various forms in politics, this is one of the important question. Very easy. All the points bacha I have added over here, read them, learn them, right now. Okay, so this is it. And then the most confusing topic, caste in politics, politics in caste. Question repeated a lot of times. So caste in politics, a person in car and a person on the car. Getting? There is a difference. So caste where? In politics. Politics is going on, political power and all that. Now we got an idea, why not we introduce casteism over here. Let's choose the leader from the caste which is more in this constituency, so that we can gather or muster the votes. That's caste in politics. Okay, when party choose candidates keeping in mind caste composition, okay, to get the support. Candidate, like they also give appeals whenever they speak, whenever they give the speeches, the appeals are made in keeping in mind what? Caste sentiments. Okay, so this is it. Then when I talk about politics in caste, by caste in caste, the group of people who is following that caste, what happened? Everyone wants to be the leader of that caste, that my influence should be there. Or now people in the caste also think that, oh, you people are small, we people are big, right? There will be division in that caste. What is going on? Politics is going on. So each caste group tries to become bigger. How they will become bigger? Like we have more power. Sometimes by incorporating small neighboring caste too. Come with us, we will be powerful together. Or various caste groups are required to enter into coalition, right? Dialogue and negotiation. Let's come into coalition, then we will enter in politics. Or some divisions are there, like backward caste, forward caste, etc. So this is what? Caste in politics, politics in caste, from the chapter. Which one? Gender, religion and caste. Okay. Next important chapter is political party. First important question are, what are the, this came this year, what are the functions of political party? Bhai, do it right away. Right away, stop the video, okay? Learn what are the functions of political party. First function, what is the first function of political party? Why political party is made? to contest for election. Ma'am, why are you screaming? Because I want you to be energetic, right? So what is the first point? That to fight the elections, to contest for the elections. Acha, if they won an election, what will happen? They won an election, they form the government. Okay, second important role is form the government. If they form the government, what they will do? They will make the laws. Okay, third point. If they do not win the elections, what will happen? They will play the role of opposition. Okay, right? And what are these political parties actually doing? They're shaping the public opinion. 5.5 mark. Okay, next important topics are, like this time can come because last time it didn't came, challenges to political parties. So first is lack of internal democracy, money and muscle power, whoever has the money gets the power, dynastic succession, we have the example of this, no meaningful choice to other. So 4 challenges to political parties. How can parties be reformed? Now here 2 separate topics are there which students get confused. How can parties be reformed? There are recent efforts. That means these reforms are done. And here there are suggestions. So do not get confused in that. Recent efforts is passing of anti-defection law. Whenever a person changes one party to another after election, that is known as detection, and that's illegal. But there are certain clauses which people use and change their parties. For that, a law is made, that's anti-defection law. Okay? Great. Order of Supreme Court that everyone who is contesting for election needs to file an affidavit. What's affidavit? Basically a legal document which gives detail of his property, criminal records or any case pending against him. This is an order presented by Supreme Court. Then another we have, that is the order of Election Commission, right? To file the what? ITR. Get it? And these are the suggestions. Like, let's give 1/3 tickets to women here itself, state funding, regulate the internal affairs, internal democracy within the political parties. These are the important topics, bacha. Okay, I'm telling you some more one. Accountable, responsive and legitimate form of government. Right, from this chapter, this one is very, very important. Points are listed here. Soils type of India. We're moving ahead with geography now. Beta, first chapter is resource and development, right? For sure, questions are going to come from this topic, that are soils of India. How many soils are there in India? 6 soils. Alluvial, black, red and yellow, laterite, arid, mountainous soil. Now, which type of question comes? Question comes for 5 marks, that write about alluvial soil. Okay, the question can come, write about the most fertile soil of India. So first we should know na, which is the fertile soil of India. So here is the chart prepared by me for all of you students, beta. See, 5 points that you have to write in this answer is formation of soil, area covered by this soil, mineral constituents, crops grown and features. Okay, so I know you are going to revise it fast. Okay, do it beta. This is to be done by you only. Get it? Next and most important question from the chapter. Which chapter beta? Forest and wildlife. Forest and wildlife, this question will come. What is the role of community in the conservation of forest and wildlife? First point. Sariska Tiger Reserve, where it is? Rajasthan. What villages did? Now, government was for mining, na? They were digging up there, cutting the trees and all that. The people here living in Sariska said, Acha, you people started this Wildlife Protection Act, and now what are you doing? So, citing this, they revolted. They fought against them. Second is in the Alwar district of Rajasthan, beta. The people there declared 1200 hectares of land as Bhairav Dev Duck of Sanctuary. What they declared? Bhairav Dev Duck of Sanctuary basically. They made their own rules and regulations which need to be followed in this 1200 hectares. And no interference by any government. Chipko movement we know in Himalayas. Next is Beach Bachao Andolan. So diversified seeds were grown, but not with the help of any synthetics or chemicals, right? It was all natural. That was very good. And this is in Tehri. Tehri is in Uttarakhand. Okay. Next is fifth point, that sacred groves. We know that in India we have a habit to worship plants and animals like blackberg by the community. You guys know that. Okay, Bishnoi community. So this is important. Acha, in that JFM Pala part is also important from last chapter, joint forest management. Short note for 3 marks can come. Okay, not for 5 marks, but 3 marks can come. Okay, next is from water resource. Multi-purpose project that came under scrutiny. So, multi-purpose project is basically formation of dam, not only just for storing the water, excess of water, but rather than that, what there's so many purposes like generating electricity, for industrial purpose we need water, then for a lot of things like breeding of animals, marine animals over there, for internal navigation and all that. So but what happened when dam was made, multi-purpose projects were made, they started coming under scrutiny because for what purpose they were made, na? They are not even following that. They were made to store the excess water. Now they are causing floods. Why? Because beta, they affect the natural flow of river. Now what is happening? Poor sedimentation. Sediments were depositing at the base of the river. Depth was decreasing. The excess water was coming out, causing flood. Okay. So it resulted in rockier stream. Dams for aquatic animals, it became difficult, right? It submerged the existing vegetation because of that flood. It triggered floods. It caused earthquake, waterborne diseases, pollution, etc. And irrigation changed the cropping pattern of many regions. This map work is quite important, beta. All the dams of India are there. Okay, last important topic from this chapter. Rainwater harvesting system. So here are certain ancient structures like Guls and Kuls, where region is important, Western Himalayas. Okay, then we have rooftop harvesting, where? Rajasthan. Then we have channels, inundated channels, where? In Bengal. Khadins in Jaisalmer, Johads in where? Johads in parts of Rajasthan. Okay, get it? So rooftop harvesting, this is the picture here. Very nicely you have to do. Now coming to agriculture chapter. All the major soils which I have sorted for you is in this chart. Stop the video, take the screenshot and learn this chart, and this is going to help you score good in this agriculture chapter, right? This is very important. Rice, wheat, jowar, bajra, ragi, maize, pulses. They are cultivating seasons, temperature, annual rainfall, states, key points. All are listed here just for you in a single PPT. Okay, so grab the situation, learn them all. That you have to do, right? Now comes one more most important or most repeated question. Learn it right now. The points are here. I'm going to explain it. What are the technological and institutional reforms that were introduced by the government to improve the agriculture? Bhai, 8 points are there basically. Technological and institutional reforms. So, first thing was what? During the British era, it leads to a lot of collectivization or centralization of lands in the hands of zamindars. So, to avoid that, abolish that zamindari system, collect the land from those people, collectivization, consolidate them was the priority, right? When first 5-year plan was made, what was the target? These reforms. Along with that, bacha, we introduced green revolution to bring revolution in the production of wheat and pulses. We know that. White revolution for milk. So along with that, we have provisions for crop insurance like we have for people, that if anyone get any accident or death by unusual cause or something like that, then what happened? Insurance is there. People will get money after that. Similarly, if crop is not as expected it did not grew well, then insurance is there in case there is drought, floods, cyclone, fire or disease. Get it? Now, there are establishment of Grameen banks, cooperative banks, which can provide loans to the farmers so that they can get loans at low interest rate. Okay, then there is Kisan Credit Card, PIS, that's Personal Accident Insurance Scheme, weather bulletins, ads, minimum support price, 5 marks, important question, learn it right now. Okay. Now we have one more important question, that is difference between conventional and non-conventional resources. Non-conventional and conventional resources. By conventional resources are non-renewable. These are the resources available in limited quantity. When they are limited, if you use it, they will take millions of years to renew. So basically, if I talk about this conventional resources, those are the resources which were used by the people since a long time, like coal. Coal was used for cooking or not? Yes. For energy in trains or not? Yes. So that older ones are known as conventional sources. They do not produce green energy. Cause what? Cause pollution. End up with an examples. Okay. Vice versa is, different is non-conventional. They are renewable, they are unlimited, they are identified few years ago. Like if I talk about hydroelectricity, was it since ancient time? Not there. So this is it. Okay, get it? Very good, very good. Moving to the last part of our study, that is economics, which I usually do at the starting, but this time we started with history. Okay beta, so this is the first chapter, development. In the development, what is important is total income. What is the total income? Income of all the residents. Why are we calculating income? Because the chapter's name is development and we need to compare the countries' development of different countries. Okay, so then after that, total income was a fail, like it's failed project, na? How can we compare country on the basis of total income? The population is quite different. Similar problem happened with average. Now average was good, which is also known as per capita income. That means total income upon total population. Okay, but what happened? It lagged accuracy. It hides disparities. So, but we choosing this average income, World Development Report was published by World Bank. They compared the countries as, they declared it as rich countries on the basis of this income, anyone earning more than this, low income countries less than this, and middle income country, India lies in low middle income group. Okay, get it? So this is about world development. Then we have important one. To replace that report, World Development Report, we bought what? Beta, Human Development Report. Okay, published by United Nations Development Program. The criteria is different because what? Per capita income was hiding disparity. So now we added education, health status and per capita income. What is the rank of India? So 193 countries are included there and India lies in the ranking of 134. Now what is this ranking? Human Development Index. Index is basically the list of like ranks of countries that you lie on this index as per the comparison of theirs in education, health and income status. Okay, this report is known as HDR. Rising importance. Oh bhai, important, most important question. Okay, what is the rising importance of tertiary sector? Very important. Basic service it provides. It, like if there will be growth of primary and secondary, it will be eventually leading growth to the tertiary sector. Rise in income and the lot of new services which lies in tertiary sector beta. Okay, how to create more employment? This question often comes. I have prepared this chart separate for rural areas, semi-urban areas and urban areas. What should we do to improve what? Employment, because India is facing a problem. Unemployment or majorly underemployment, that people are working but less than their potential. So what we need to do is here, This you have to do right now. That is SHG, self-help group. What is SHG, beta? Self-help. These women are doing their own help. These are the groups, small groups of people, around 15 to 20 members. They come together like chit-chat kitty party. No, they come together and daily they save 25 to 100 rupees according to their situation, daily or monthly, whatever it is. So they pool their savings, they collect their savings, okay, and then they collect their savings in a single place. Assume that among those women, one need to start a business, small business, but she wants small loan. She will go to that group and ask for loan. Low interest will be charged on her. After 1-2 years, when this group is regularly in doing savings, it can get the loan from the bank also. Why these women are opting for this SHG, beta? Because the banks require collateral which they don't have, documents which they lack in, right? And a lot of things which are required. So here is the case of SHG, beta. At the end, I want to tell you that map work is very important, beta. Map work is very important. It comes for how many marks? 5 marks. I am adding all the maps which are required by you, important for you, right, in this preparation, in this PDF. Just go through it, learn them. Your 2 marks will be secured for map work through this history map work. How many marks? 2 marks from history. So locate these 3 important places. They will just come for identification. Why don't you do that and just get the marks? So Kolkata, Nagpur, Madras. The rest is about Amritsar, Jallianwala Bagh massacre, Champaran. What happened in Champaran? That Indigo revolution, Chauri Chaura, not boycott, withdrawal of non-cooperation movement. Ahmedabad, Satyagrah again. Kheda. What happened in Kheda? Satyagrah. Dandi, like breaking of salt. All the important map works for geography I have added over here. So this was it. These were the all important topics, bacha, that you require for your second board examination. I like put up all the important topics in this video and I've explained it as much as was possible, but still not done, right? This video was just for your like important topics so that you can grab, collect them, understand them and learn them. But is it done from your side and my side? No. We need to study together. And I know that you're going to study with me. So on the date 19th of May and on 20th of May, because you are going to have your exam on 21st of May. On 19th of May, 20th of May, I am your SST faculty and I will be coming live on the channel, that's Deeksha Vedantu. This is particularly for class 10 students who are going to give second board examination. So you can find me there, beta. Sharp at 12 p.m. I will be coming live. We'll do long lives where we are going to study together. Because I don't want the mistakes that you did last time to be repeated this time. Okay, so I hope that I will be finding you all there. And if in case you want this PDF, right now go in the description box. Okay, you'll go and in the description, the first line will be to download the session PDF. Click that link. You can click that link and get the session PDF, which is quite helpful for you at the last time. Okay, still in case you need any help from my side regarding map work, regarding case-based questions or anything, comment down right now. I'm active and I'm seeing all your comments and will be responding you as soon as possible. Okay, all the best. Just one advice I want to give you, beta. Stick to the keywords, stick to the, along with keywords, you have to stick to the word limit. Okay, try to use the words that are in the NCERTs. By here I mean keywords from NCERT. Frame your answers nicely. SST is not a big deal. You guys are dealing with maths. You guys are dealing with science. And why do you think SST is a big deal? You guys can do that. I know that. Right? So let's study together, yeah. Let's come together, study as much as possible, as hard as possible, right? For the second board examination, don't waste your time. Prepare a good chart. I have shared one video that how to study in this 2 days for your exam. It is already live on the channel. It's already uploaded on the channel. Go watch it. The perfect strategy for 2 days that you need to follow in 19 and on 20. Okay, divide your days into like 2 subjects in 1 day. Okay, and if you divide it, you'll conquer it. So follow that British policy of divide and conquer and win the race. Okay, so all the best to my dear class 10 students who are going to appear in the second board exam. All the best, give your best, do hard work as much as possible, give your 100% in these 2 days. Meet you soon. I want you on the live. Share this with as much as students possible around you. Okay, so that they can also be benefited by this. Okay, bye bye, take care, stay healthy at that time, because it's lot of like so hot over there. Drink water as much as possible. Do not get sick right before the exam, because we can't afford it this at this last and the crucial movement of our exams. Okay, chalo, we'll meet there in the live session. Come there. Okay, I will be there meeting you all in the live sessions. Bye bye.